Hello and welcome. I am so excited about my guest on this series. Please welcome Lorraine Ellen Scott to today's episode in our series on helping you overcome the barriers that you are experiencing in your business. Lorraine is a Reiki Master and an inspirational mentor who helps entrepreneurs just like you to step into their power and thrive in their business. And so for the next little while, we're going to be talking about some very key specific things that you might be experiencing. And guess what? You might not be realizing why you're experiencing them. So today, Lorraine and I are going to dig deep and unfold some of the reasons that might be causing these barriers that are happening for you, whether you realize it or not. And you might be surprised what those answers are. So welcome to the show, Lorraine. I'm so glad that you're part of our series.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here because I know what it's like to get stuck behind those barriers for
I think
sure.
we all do, right? I don't think there's anybody who has not experienced some sort of roadblock and barrier in their business and are frustrated by it and it literally can get to that point where should I even be doing this anymore? Maybe this is a sign. Maybe I should just be quitting and going back to my job. So it can vary right from, oh, okay, yeah, I have a solution for that, right to, just stopping everything and preventing themselves from going forward. And that's why I wanted to put this series together, because no matter where you are on that spectrum, I think that the information that we're going to share can help anybody in their entrepreneurial journey to get past whatever it is, whether minor or major, and really step into their power, as you say, and get that success and reach their goals and live their vision that they, the reason why they started business to begin with, right?
Yes, I think people get stuck in being stuck and they forget why they're doing it in the first place. They lose that inspiration. So, in order to clear that energy so that they can more fully focus on their mission, their why, their reason for doing it is the key. And it's interesting because it depends on the day. Some days you're feeling really good about things, you're optimistic, and then the next day your energy is a little lower and then something negative might happen and then you're like, well, that's it, throw in the towel. So you just have to honor where you are, and there's tools to get around it.
Yeah, and I can so relate to that, in Lorraine, because it wasn't even that long ago when I think for me, my energy level was starting to drop more and more. And when that happened, for me, I was labeling it as, being burnt out. I was, working way too many hours. Whether that was the real reason or not, I don't know. Maybe I'll find out. But I was labeling it as being burnt out. And what I was finding was every little negative thing that happened, it just plummeted my energy. And all I wanted to do was just go to bed, put the covers over my head and make it all go away. And right, I think a lot of us can relate to that,
Yeah.
because we can only take so much negativity before we're ready to pack it in. And then that's where people like you come into play, because that negativity is associated with something. And that's my first burning question for you, Lorraine, is what is that key thing that you have noticed when working with your clients over the years that has been stopping them from stepping forward in their business? And I would love to hear what's going on with that.
Well, I love that question. And I'm going to start with taking you back on a journey back to when I was a little girl. We were camping. We had the opportunity to go horseback riding. I was so excited. I must have been about 8 years old. My brother and sister, my mom and dad, and we all piled into the vehicle and we get to this ranch. I see the horses. I loved horses at the time, and they were really big and I'm like, ooh, but I'm excited anyways. And then my mom dropped the bombshell that I wasn't allowed to go because I was too small.
Oh no.
So I was so disappointed.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. And, I'm sure we've all had that. We were told when we were young, you're too shy, you're quiet,
Mm.
don't stand out, be like everybody else, don't brag. So we bring this stuff from our childhood that conditioned us. And now today we're trying to stand out and we're wondering why we keep coming up against blocks and we get in our own way sometimes. And that is a big part of at least my journey and the journey of many clients I've worked with, that we think because of the conditioning we've had that we're so limited where
Oh.
we're really not.
I mean, oh man, does that ever bring back a lot of memories for me too? All of these you can'ts and all this negativity that is bombarded on us. No wonder we're such a mess.
Yeah, you're too this, you're not enough that.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, don't interrupt. Stop being so big, Yeah, I mean, the list can go on forever and ever. And for those who are, maybe a little bit on the introverted or shy side, that is even exploded even more so as there's something wrong with them. So, whether you're introverted or not, at the end of the day, when we do try to step into our power and be something in our business, all those voices in our head are coming back screaming at us, there's something wrong with you, stop it, you're gonna get into trouble or whatever. Like what are those consequences that those voices are telling us that would happen if we did do that?
yeah. It's we get out of our comfort zone for a minute, and something goes wrong, and we're like, oh, well, that's a sign. I got to stop. And we have that clipboard, and we're almost looking for little things. Check. Okay, that's wrong. That's wrong. Okay, there's too many check marks or too many X's. It's clearly I'm not meant for this. We compare ourselves to other people.
Oh,
Well, and as you know, Susan, I actually mentor introverts.
yeah.
Mostly that's who I work with. So I understand of needing to, stand back a little bit. And it's not just for introverts, it's for anybody who wants to start speaking, to start being seen, to start shifting from what your family and friends know you as to somebody who's now an entrepreneur, has their own business, has their own clients.
Mm.
We have to find our tribe of colleagues that are there to support us. It's not just about finding clients, it's about finding like-minded people like
Mhm.
yourself, how where we can connect and be in a state of, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, you know.
And that is so important, Lorraine. It's because, when you said, that we need to find our own community of like-minded people, because um, just as when we were kids and our parents are saying, no, you can't do this, because it's because they are paying attention to your safety. Like, to them, it's a logical thing that, well, you can't because you're going to die if you do. but we're internalizing it as that is an absolute, and forever and ever we're going to die if we do this, to take it to the extreme. And so now in present day, we're hearing those same voices in our head. And unfortunately, sometimes those same people, those parents and the family members, our aunts and uncles and our brothers and sisters, or whoever it is, they still are trying to protect us.
Absolutely.
and
Yes.
and yeah, and they're saying, are you sure? Like, I don't want you to fail, I don't want you to lose all of that money and all that effort, why don't you just go to get a job? So they're still reinforcing today the same message that we were told when we were 2 years old, that and it's always in the spirit of protecting us.
Yeah.
And little do they know, and little do we know, when we're receiving that advice, that it's the worst advice we could be given. If we have a vision and we want to step up and make a difference in the world and live in on purpose and help people.
Well, and it's interesting you say that because when we are trying to grow, we're growing in a different way than what our family and friends know us as. And they're always trying to identify with who we are. They're always trying to pull us back to a place that they know us and they feel safe too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
okay. It's totally okay. Our family and friends, they don't have to get what we do. They really don't have to understand it. But it's finding that group of people who do. And then you have that balance, because really it's all about balance. And balance isn't always like this. Sometimes the scales get tipped and you just have to learn that it will always come back around again.
That's such an excellent point. Such an excellent point is that I find through the years of me working with clients is that as soon as they start asking other people for advice, what should I do? That advice is coming through their lens, from their perspective, with the intention of trying to rescue you or keep you safe. And it's literally trying to keep themselves safe because that's what they would do if they were in your shoes.
Yeah.
So they're not giving you adequate advice, nor advice that is good for you and what will fulfill your vision. They're
Yeah.
giving you advice if they were you.
And it's not educated advice because
No.
they don't know that situation. It's a totally different ballgame when you get into being an entrepreneur. It's
Oh,
nothing like anything I've ever done before. And
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All of the trials and tribulations and the elations, all of it. It's all part of the adventure. And
All part of
it's
it.
how you look at it. That's really the crux of things is your lens on it. And you or people have the choice to decide how they want to view things.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, such excellent advice, Lorraine. So what is the next thing that what can we do about it? Yes, here we are living for X amount of years with this advice that we were given back when we were little tiny toddlers, and we've been living that advice all this time. Like, it's not an easy thing to just snap your finger and decide I'm going to change. So give us some tools, some wisdom here on how we can start making that transformation.
Well, actually, Susan, it can be the snap of your fingers.
Oh,
It can be right at your fingertips.
even better. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So not only I'm a Reiki Master Teacher, but I do other vibrational energy work. And one of the tools that I learned and I use now in my practice is emotional freedom technique. You know it as EFT or as tapping, and
Mhm.
it is powerful. And I love sharing that with clients because once they know how to tap, they can use it whenever they need to. They don't need any tools, they don't need any special skills. All you need to do is understand how you feel and understand what's going on inside as you tap. It's just that simple.
Oh,
And you can clear so much.
and it happens so fast. Well, that's amazing. Thank you for correcting me because you're right. I was raised to believe change is slow.
And it sometimes it is. And here's the thing, Susan, if we think it is going to be, it will be.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for correcting that as well. We are what we think, aren't we? I was just
I
listening to
catch
a podcast
myself
this
all the
morning.
time.
Oh, we
You
do
know,
have to be so careful about the words that we say, don't we? I mean, that can be a whole nother episode. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
well, words are very powerful. And the words we were taught, at that vulnerable age when we're just, learning what life is, and we hold such a candle to the adults, the teachers in our lives that think that everything they say is the truth. Whereas
Mhm.
adults, we learn that, people are human. But yeah, in order to clear and get forward and move past those barriers, we have to realize that it's possible because the power is within us, not outside of us. It's in us. It's literally at our fingertips.
Do I have a mic that I can drop? Like that was a mic drop, right?
Yeah.
And I think that uh many of us, and myself included, over multiple instances, we tend to want to blame some sort of external situation for our inability or our lack of whatever, or the roadblocks that we come up. Oh, it's the economy. Oh, it's this, it's that, or the marketing didn't work, my social media person made a spelling error and that's why I didn't get 10 clients or whatever, right? We always like to, not have to take responsibility.
Yes.
And
I have an acronym for that word, blame.
ah,
Believe lies and make excuses.
oh,
And
nice.
that's what we do. We make the excuse of, well, it's outside of myself and it's out of my control, so I
Yeah,
can't change it.
I have no
Where
control.
we
Mhm.
can flip that very easily, and that's where tapping can help flip the script. And for anyone who's watching, if they don't know what tapping is, or they know a little about it, you might think it's all about thinking positively, but first you have to acknowledge the negative. You've got to acknowledge the emotions you're feeling. Like, no emotion is actually bad or good. The emotions are neutral.
It
It's
just
how
is.
we respond to it that creates that positive or negative effect.
Mm.
So tapping really helps to neutralize things that is happening within our body. It changes how we think, how we feel, and therefore how we can be more mindful and hopeful to change.
Oh, that's amazing, Lorraine. And I know that not everybody knows what tapping is or EFT is, but would you mind doing a brief demonstration? You can use me as your guinea pig, and maybe we can, come up with a topic that is pretty universal. Like, say, doing exactly what you and I are doing right now, getting in front of the camera. I know that is pretty prevalent, that there's all kinds of stories that go on in our minds before we turn on that camera that prevents us even from turning on that camera and stepping out and stepping into our power and getting seen and being visible, whether it's on social media or even in a podcast or a webinar or whatever. So would you mind doing a really quick brief demonstration of what tapping is?
I would love to. I mean, the best way is to just jump in and do it.
Why not? And nothing, there's nothing better than showing somebody what you're talking about so they can, realize those benefits right off the bat.
Yes. And everyone can tap along to follow along. And Susan, I'll just get you to be my echo, because a quick version, and there's different ways of doing it, but I like to keep things simple. It's how it makes it easy.
Mhm.
And so one of the recipes is to come up with why this is a problem,
Mhm.
and repeat it a couple of times as you're tapping, and then tap on specific meridians of the face and the body to help start to clear that energy.
Okay.
So let's take the example of feeling uncomfortable about being on camera, for example.
Sure.
So you could either find the side of the hand where the pinky is, you can tap on that spot, or sometimes there's a tender spot just below your collarbone and you can rub that spot. I find that if you find a tender spot, this is the place, because that relates to that emotional side of things. But if you can't find it, you can do there.
Okay.
So you can repeat after me. Even though I'm feeling anxious about being on camera,
Even though I'm feeling anxious about being on camera,
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Even though I'm nervous about being on camera,
Even though I'm nervous about being on camera,
I honor how I feel.
I honor how I feel.
Even though I'm nervous about being on camera,
Even though I feel nervous about being on camera,
I love myself anyways.
I love myself anyways.
Yeah. And I have glasses, and
Me
I
too. Okay.
so we want to tap on the face. So we're going to start on the inner eyebrow, and as we
Okay.
tap,
Except I can't see you when I do this.
okay, and just up on the where the eyebrow is, and just
Right.
as we tap, we're thinking about how we feel, and we're just repeating, not the whole thing, but we're just saying feeling nervous. So just say feeling nervous.
Feeling nervous.
And then at the side of the eye, along the eye socket, feeling nervous about being on camera.
Feeling nervous about being on camera.
And then under the eye, I'm really scared about being seen.
I'm really scared about being seen.
Under the nose. What if somebody judges me?
What if somebody judges me?
And then under the lip. What if somebody laughs at me?
What if somebody laughs at me?
And then at the collarbone, you can do one side or both. People do it in different ways. It's just breathing into this discomfort.
It's just breathing into this discomfort.
And then under your arm, about 4 inches under your arm, there's a tender spot mostly. So just rubbing that spot, feeling uncomfortable.
Feeling uncomfortable.
And then at the top of the head, I really don't want to be on camera.
I really don't want to be on camera.
And then on the other side, we're tapping on the inner eyebrow. I'm so nervous.
I'm so nervous.
At the side of the eye. What if I mess up?
What if I mess up?
Under the eye. What if nobody watches?
What if nobody watches?
Under the nose. What if everybody watches?
What if everybody watches?
Under the lip. Just allowing myself to be where I am.
Just allowing myself to be where I am.
Under the collarbone. Just clearing this nervous energy.
Just clearing this nervous energy.
Under the arm. It's okay to feel what I'm feeling.
It's okay to feel what I'm feeling.
The top of the head. Because I'm learning and growing.
Because I'm learning and growing.
And one more round, the inner eye. And I'm learning to trust myself.
And I'm learning to trust myself.
And at the side of the eye. And it's okay to be nervous.
And it's okay to be nervous.
Under the eye. It's okay to be nervous.
It's okay to be nervous.
Under the nose. It's starting to clear a little bit.
It's starting to clear a little bit.
Under the lip. And I'm okay with being nervous.
And I'm okay with being nervous.
At the collarbone, I have a message to share.
I have a message to share.
And it's more important than my nerves.
And it's more important than my nerves.
Under the arm. And it's okay to feel awkward.
And it's okay to feel awkward.
The top of the head. I'm just being human.
I'm just being human.
Okay, now just squeeze around your wrist. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, say peace.
Peace.
So what you're doing is you're acknowledging what you're feeling by using words. And the great thing is you can use whatever words you want. You're starting with how you feel the negative. And as you notice, I started shifting it into more empowerment and feeling okay with who you are, and then just clearing that energy enough so things kind of settle down. That's the key to being at a place where you get to choose your thoughts from there to be more empowered.
That was amazing. I hope that everybody does that. Anybody who says that I just can't, just eliminate the word I can't out of your vocabulary and say I can, and I'm going to do it by doing this simple tapping exercise, because it really does clear that energy. And like I feel blessed that I'm not one of those people who feel hyper anxious before doing something like this. But even I felt that there was even more clearing, because when you had said what if nobody shows up, or what if too many people show up, and what if I'm be judged, I definitely have those feelings that go through my mind. And, and it's just, I do it anyway. I feel the fear and do it anyway. But I
Yeah.
love that I don't have to feel the fear. Like this just
Yes.
kind of gets rid of that fear for me altogether. So
Yeah.
thank you for
Or
sharing that.
you're welcome. Or at least it turns the notch down of it, so it's not so staticky in our bodies, and it becomes a little more manageable. Now, I recommend to those of you viewing, if when you do it, and if you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, just do it with intention. Know that the way you're doing it is right. And I really recommend that when you do it, when you're alone, when you do it, look at yourself in the mirror, look right into your eyeballs. That is powerful.
I can
I
imagine.
can almost guarantee you'll cry, but that's a good release. It really is.
Yeah, I can totally see that because it really does. It's releasing all those emotions that have been sitting there since we were 2 years old, and we are being given permission to not have to be that way anymore. That is so freeing. What an
Yeah.
amazing gift that this brings to people.
Isn't it great? I love having things that people can now use
Mm,
forever. It's great. It's great with kids. The
yeah.
more you can do it for yourself and share it with other people, imagine what this world was like if they would teach EFT in school.
Oh my
Can you
gosh.
imagine? That would
Oh,
be, oh,
yeah,
so
yeah,
powerful.
so incredible. And I'm gonna bring that back to our audience. Imagine what your business would be like if fear no longer was one of those roadblocks that was getting in the way of you stepping up into your power.
Mm.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. And Lorraine, I want to know, what can are the people who are watching or listening to this today, what can they do to learn the next step, about stepping into their greatness?
Well, I love that you call it stepping into their greatness, because I invite them to a step into their greatness call with me, a 15-minute complimentary call, no sales pitch. Let's just find out what it is that's causing you to not feel like you're in your greatness, and let's flip it. I help people turn what isn't working for them into a superpower. So then you have the fuel to now excel in what you need to do, because there's people out there who need what you have to share.
Yeah.
So it's time to step into your greatness.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you. That's such a great gift that you are giving people, because even though we have demonstrated what tapping is and the potential that it holds, it can go so much deeper, because you can work individually with people and really tap into that deep seated belief and fear and thought, or that message that they've been carrying with them for years, and tap it away, literally tap it away.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so what we'll do is we'll have the link for you to click on. It's either in the show notes or in the comments somewhere on this page. You will find the link to click on to go and sign up for that 15-minute free call with Lorraine, and she will help you get on that next step, so that you can break down at least one, if not more, of your barriers that you are feeling in your business that's preventing you from stepping up into your greatness. Thank you so much, Lorraine, for joining us today. I so appreciate you sharing your gift with us. I'm so grateful that you didn't hear and listen to all of that negative energy that you were surrounded by back when you were a little girl. I so related to your horse story, because I had a little pony when I was a little girl, and oh my gosh, yeah. So that's incredible, and I'm so glad that you were able to step into your greatness so that you can share your gift with other people, especially entrepreneurs, small business owners who do feel like they're struggling. It isn't an easy journey for them, and they want to know why. They're ready to address, why is this happening, and you are here to help with that. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me, Susan. I appreciate you being with me. I appreciate everyone watching. And yeah, it took me a long time to figure it out. So if I can help people, get to the short, quick, clear that energy, the better.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, there's nothing better than fast tracking, getting past all those lessons that we had to learn over the years. So
Yeah.
thank you, viewer, listener, for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed what we had to talk about. And please, use that tapping exercise that Lorraine demonstrated for us. And if you have any questions or want to connect with Lorraine, click on that link and go and sign up for her free 15-minute consultation with you. And we'll see you in the next episode of this series. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.